I have zero problem with small hive beetles. Unless somebody buys packages and they bring them in. For us in the Northeast, packages really are unsuitable. And I don't know what it is. I'm not a package bee user, and so I can only go by what I hear and what people tell me. But according to Jim Haskell in Virginia, 80% of the package bees installed don't make it a year. That's pretty terrible. I think there are a large number of commercials that are using packages to some degree, but I think most of the big guys take their bees south and they make their own bees. You know, they've got their system down where they finish their pollination run. They might summer their bees somewhere in the north to try to make a honey crop, or let the bees, let the colonies recover from them moving. And then they take their bees south, restock all the pallets with bees, maybe even raise their own queens, but some buy massive amounts of queens from the big producers and start the whole process over again and try to get every pallet full of queen-right colonies to start the trip again to almonds and blueberries and cranberries and apples and wherever they go to pollinate. And I think that the package bee industry did very fine providing them with a product. But now, with the huge influx of new beekeepers wanting bees, really the only thing available to beekeepers now is packages. There aren't enough nucleus colonies to go around. There aren't even enough packages to go around, which may be part of the problem. It may be that the package bee producers are trying to raise too many packages too early in the season, or maybe more appropriately, too many queen bees too early in the season. If anything happens, they have bad mating, they have poor queens. So it may be just a supply and demand problem. For us in the Northeast, our season is so quick, if anything goes wrong with that package at all, they're not going to make the winter. In 2013, our first pollen was April 15th. Our first cleansing flight was a week before that. Oh my goodness, yes. That's a long season. And the last cleansing flight, the autumn before, was probably the beginning of December. So those bees went all the way from December, January, February, March, and into April with ever having a cleansing flight. And then once things start to go, everything just opens at once, and the bees just explode, and the vegetation explodes. It seems that the bee population and brood rearing explodes right along with the vegetation, which is possibly one of the reasons why we have such an advantage here. Because we have honey flows, nectar flows coming in right off the bat, right from pussy willow and alder, speckled alder, maple, and right through until now, until goldenrod. So that if the maple is blooming in the end of March, the beginning of April, or into April sometime, depending on the season, we have a nectar flow continuously until October. So that's one of our benefits. But the bees the package of bees, if anything goes wrong, you need a big population of young bees here. And if anything goes wrong with that colony, they never seem to recover. And they never seem to be able to build that population up. And that supersedure is not necessarily the fault of the queen or the fault of the package producer. It's just there's an inherent problem with package bees. So if the producer puts that package of bees in the box on Monday and ships it on Tuesday, and it takes 3 days to get to your supplier, and you pick it up on Friday evening and you put it in on Saturday, and the queen comes out 2 days later and starts to lay a day later, and no bees emerge for 21 days, nurse bees are the young bees in the hive. And a colony that's expanding with more open brood all the time, trying to raise bees to build their population, needs nurse bees. And every day, all the bees in the hive are 1 day older with no nurse bees coming along since, they put it in on Monday. She never came out until the following Monday. She never laid, so they're already a week and a half old before she ever lays an egg. And then there's 21 days before any bees emerge. So now that's 3/4. The bees are over a month old. The very youngest bees are over a month old. The older ones are really getting old. How can you have nurse bees? So there's a issue.
Brood's emerging.
Until there's brood emerging.
Yeah.
So there's an issue at the 2 to 3 week period where the bees sense that there's an issue. There's some kind of stress because they don't have nurse bees. Older bees are being forced into nursing, and they're not appropriate nurse bees. And the bees sense this. And who are you going to blame when you're a bee? You're going to blame the queen. And so they supersede the queen at the 2 to 3 week stage in their development. It didn't mean there was anything wrong with the queen. Now how you correct that is at 2 weeks, when you pull the queen cage out and see that she's laying, you go to one of your beehives and you pull a frame of emerging brood out and put that in the package. And now there's instantly, at a week to 2 weeks, there's instantly emerging brood. That takes care of that supersedure.